Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am really glad you're here. Today's date is Monday, April 21st, 2025. Remember that date. We're going to talk about it in just a minute. The reason I'm making this video is because it has been announced today that the Pope passed away. This caused a lot of chatter in the alt media community, as well as making the mainstream news just as a death. Now, in the alt media community, there's a lot of chatter going on, first of all, and this is one point of chatter that I agree on, and I will explain why. And many in the alt media community think that the actual Pope passed away some time ago, and that information has been withheld until a propitious time. And I buy that. Now I'm going to say why I buy it. First of all, there's just been too many times when appearances by the supposed Pope ended up being outed as CGI imagery, etc. And there is an actor who won an Academy Award for portraying the man. So Jonathan Pryce has played the part of the Pope in films, and it's often been rumored that because there was an absence of a physical Pope anymore, he has played the part in real life as well. So, something to think about. Now, why do I say I buy that? And that's going to actually be part of where we go with the tarot read, um, because there is a 17 post, number 997. Remember that number that said, in brackets, Pope will be having a terrible May. Those who backed him will be pushed into the light, dark to light, truth, and then the letter that's the 17th one in the alphabet is listed. Now, here's what I noticed today. Today's date is April 21st, 2025. I'm not huge into numerology, but sometimes when there's a synchronicity, I want to make note of it. If you take those digits and add them together, you come up with a 7. 4, 2, 1, 2, 0, 2, 5 equals 16, and that 1 and 6 make a 7. And if you add the digits for that post, 997, you get a 25, and 2 and 5 again make 7. Coincidence? Well, we're told there's no such thing as coincidences, right? Anyway, I have often felt that they were waiting for a right time for this announcement, and it does seem like announcements are coming at us today, Monday. There's been a number of one, even though I'm focusing on the Pope's demise in this one. There's been some other significant events for Monday. It's been a busy Monday. Now, not only was it busy, but I am seeing a definite effort to lower our vibration with shocking news. Um, Things that cause anxiety. And once again, as I often do, I just want to remind everyone to observe current events without absorbing them. It's very important. We don't want to provide sustenance for those that feed off fear and anxiety and worry and things like that. It's a useless emotion anyway, worry is. Okay, it's either you either can take action or you can't. Boom, period. So I just wanted to put that out there. Avoid the anxiety. Let's follow the events, but let's not absorb them. Now, there's been some speculation too, because just yesterday, Vice President Vance, or the person playing the part of Vice President Vance, I think that's another 2.0 in our complicated world, guys. I really do. Had a 17-minute meeting with the person seen in the public eye as the Pope, and said that he, wished him well, had been praying for him, etc., etc. And then today we get the announcement that the Pope is gone. There's also some chatter because we in the alt media community know that there are lots of nonverbal communications that are shared with us. So we, as a collective, learn to watch things like designs in clothes, colors, etc. And there was a lot of commentary about the fact that J.D. Vance, or again, the person playing the part of J.D. Vance, wore a very bright and vivid gold tie to this meeting. And so there are some alt media voices that are seeing significance there. I don't think they're wrong. I just don't know that we've all thought it all the way through and gotten to all the meanings that may have been embedded in that meeting, both in its duration and in the wardrobe choices by J.D. Vance. So let's ask about that. First of all, I'm going to ask the cards with a yes or no element. Is there truth in the alt media speculation that the Pope is long gone? And then additional insights and inspiration and information. I'm sorry, information. I'll take inspiration too. This isn't, I think, an inspiration topic. It's information or insights about this situation and the announcement. The timing of it. I'm kind of wondering about that. I would like to also make mention before we switch the camera and get into the tarot element of this video that when that post came out from 17 saying that the Pope would have a terrible May, that was actually posted on April 3rd, 2018. And the following month in May was when President Trump met with Pope Francis at the on May 24th, 2017. So I just I personally um, think that from May to May that since Trump met with him in a May date that had more to do with him having a terrible May than um, the upcoming month or what have you. So let's see if there's truth to the speculation that the original Pope has been gone for quite some time, plus additional insights and information about this situation and the announcement, communications, etc. Whatever the universe wants us to know, let's go for it. Okay, I'm going to switch camera. You can watch me with the cards, and we'll find out the answer to this question together. So, is there truth to the speculation and the hypothesis that the actual original Pope, whose death was just announced today on April 21st, has been dead for quite some time, plus additional insights and information about this timing of the announcement, communications involved with events in the last 24 hours, etc., whatever the universe wants us to know. I mentioned there's lots of events. It's been a busy Monday. Here's the Eight of Wands, King of Wands, Page of Wands, more wands with the Queen of Wands, Temperance, Strength, and the Hanged Man. In the near future, we've got some very solid major arcanas doing some speaking here. So let's take a look at what we have so far. I will pull some more cards before we're done, and we'll see. We're not getting any kind of a indication that while I don't have a hard yes, I'm not getting any negative information from the cards about our question about the demise already happening. I should also mention that there are some procedural differences in the um, events surrounding the Pope's funeral, etc., that have been changed. So it's just an unusual situation in many ways. The Pope is not going to be on display. He's got directions to go straight into a coffin, and just some changes that kind of lend a little bit of credence to the speculation we're hearing about it. Again, with the wands are fast moving action. So we got the wands saying lots of events going on. Absolutely. No doubt about that. The King of Wands is about leadership. Again, so I think that's just kind of saying there's been a lot of change in the leadership. Absolutely. More to come. The Page of Wands is one of cautious optimism and discovery, as well as being one of my white hat cards. So this is where we're getting a little nod to the white hats speculation in the alt media community, those that might be termed white hats or white hearts. Yeah, they're this is part of their plan. It's part of the chess games that are coming, moves that are being made. The Queen of Wands is the current situation, and this is one of brutal honesty and truth. I think there's going to be some disclosures made about the original Pope that are going to be difficult for our beloved normies who just have not woken to some of the nefarious deeds and acts that have gone on. There's going to be some information that drops that shakes some people out of their complacency and into a little more accurate reality. Let's look going forward. How's that going to play out? What's that going to cause? Okay, the Temperance card says, I think what we're going to see is those of us that have been awake and going down assorted rabbit trails for years, if not decades, we're not going to see as much of the disclosures we know are out there and could be made, but there's going to be some. There's also a teamwork aspect here, and I think this is multinational, just kind of nodding to the fact that, yeah, this is part of the moves and changes happening because of the alliance, the multinational global type of um, Earth rescue mission. So they're on it. This is part of it. So we're not going to get all the stuff. We're not going to get everything out there, but enough that people are going to see and have to accept some difficult truths, which this is a season for people to hear and understand and absorb some difficult truths. And if they haven't already started that process, we need to have a heart for that because it's going to happen like it or not. They're going to have to deliberately, consciously, and forcefully refuse to accept information if they decide to stay in the dark. And we know, we were told there is a small percentage that will regardless, but this is the season when uncomfortable truths are going to be part of everybody's reality. So let's see, besides the temperance card saying, not as much as we know could be shared, but there's going to be some. The strength card is our strongest information and insight card, just letting us know this move, the timing of this was done very deliberately, absolutely deliberately. And there's going to be, I wouldn't be surprised if we had church leadership go to someone that I don't know. I don't know. I would like it to be that the church leadership would be someone who really has walked a path of light and truth, but they may have a player come forward that's, here there's a German contender that's, WEF ties and things like that, so we may not be there yet. We'll see. Let's get some other cards and see what's going on here. King of Swords, again, white hat nod. Yes, this was very deliberate. We got the Hermit, the Fool. Talk about major arcanas, guys. One, two, three, four, five. And our final card is the Three of Cups. Okay, so these final cards for insights, what they're telling us, again, just a nod to the fact that the announcement, the timing of it was indeed a planned event, which lends credence to that hypothesis that the actual demise of the actual original Pope has been sometime in the past. And I like the card, the Hermit card going because it's telling us that those people that made this announcement, that have worked on this timing, they've got some divine support. And I mean, truly divine. I'm not just talking about benevolent off-world help. I'm just saying, that this is they've gone about this prayerfully in the right way. Okay, so the world and the Catholic Church are going to be facing some changes, structural changes, etc. They're going to be setting out in a new path, which was what I was hoping was the Hanged Man was indicating. It doesn't mean that in the interim they won't have someone else that's got some dark and not light-filled elements to their persona, but ultimately we're going to be able to celebrate that the church, there is an element there who have stayed in the light, who are ready to be there for the remaining flock, those people who still want to have that religious experience to be what they were raised with, what they're comfortable with, where they feel like they make a spiritual connection. But there's going to be some changes, and it's going to be ones that we can celebrate, and that the church ultimately can too. Where it'll be more people-centered, more transparent as far as where assets are moved to, and who has done what, and how there are managed if there's misdeeds, etc., like that. So there's going to be good, positive changes coming to the church as a result of this announcement and just where we're at on the timeline and changes that are being made. Let's recap. Today, the passing of the Pope was announced, April 21st, 2025. So we looked at a variety of things. We looked at a 17 post number 997 that said the Pope will be having a terrible May, and this is April. And then we looked back on the fact that it was actually in May in 2017 that the Pope was visited by President Trump. That victory tour, that world tour he took, or was, Anons have often believed that that was when he showed receipts and said things are changing and it's too late to oppose it. So we asked the universe, is the speculation accurate that the original Pope has actually been gone for quite some time? And while we didn't get a hard yes with an ace, we got cards that supported that undoubtedly. The Page of Wands talks about discovery, talks about cautious optimism. That the timing of this was absolutely kind of divinely chosen, and there was these actions, while they have a military context and basis, there's a good blending of a faith path in with these actions that are happening. So that was nice to see. Lots of major arcana showing up for the near future. Okay. The downloads I got was that the Catholic Church is going to be undergoing some changes. There's going to be, again, with that card saying, discovery and truth, there's going to be some reveals of things Anons have known for quite some while. And the advice for us was it's not going to be as much as we know could be put out there, but it's going to start that uncomfortable truth drop, drop, drop that even our beloved normies aren't going to be able to ignore. They're going to have to work really hard to ignore it if they do. Okay, it's going to have to be a solid personal choice not to accept it, to reject it. So the moves that are making are done with strength and love, and there's just an infinite source for that, and that's beautiful to see. And more cards indicating the change coming along. We had the Fool talking about, setting out on a new path, and one that's, I love this card for this because the Fool steps out kind of in faith. And we're asking about this faith, and it does say, I think what we're hearing is there's going to be some big changes in the church. Maybe not as many as some people would like to see, but definitely more than some people are prepared to see. So again, that balancing act of, has been done very, very expertly, and we can celebrate the changes they're going to make faith clean again. I really think that. So the people that do still choose to have a traditional faith practice, religious experience, church worship, etc., are going to be able to do so without their energy being diverted or transmuted or, fed lies and misdirections and things like that. So there's really good changes coming down the pike. So that's it for this video and this exploration. And it does look like um, there's a reason that the funeral procedures have changed for this pope and the burial procedures have changed. Those seem to have a tie-in with these events and kind of saying, he's probably been on ice for quite a while already. So, which, they have some body preservation techniques that it's going to be difficult to ascertain that just from you know, doing a walk by or paying respects that way. But it does seem to be that that's the case, and that's kind of what is behind and why that's been announced. So, Jonathan Price, enjoy your retirement. Okay. Thank you for your service. That's it for this video. I thank you so much for your time and your attention. And for those of you that are truly, I doubt you're watching my channel if you're truly, truly mourning the loss of the Pope. But if someone is, I have the utmost sympathy for you and respect that you have kept your faith, firm and forefront without letting it be changed. It may be time to make some gentle changes to the truths you accept and, the path you're taking, but it doesn't mean you have to leave the path at all. And if this is a sad moment for you or a sad piece of news, then, I just pray you'll be comforted and guided through that till you get back into calmer waters and more equanimity. So until next time, I thank you for your attention. I thank you for viewing my little video, and I thank you just for being part of the journey with me. I wish you love, light, and everything bright. If you're willing to accept it, it is yours. Bye.